Welcome to my kitchen. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ketolifestyle and Low-Carb Cooking with Melissa. I'm Melissa and welcome. Today, I'm going to be making some pumpkin cookies. It's fall, it's beautiful out, and I'm in the mood for some pumpkin pie spiced cookies. So let's get started. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go ahead and beat a 1/4 cup of butter. Then you want to add a 1/3 cup of powdered sweetener. You can add more if you would like. It just depends upon how sweet you want your cookies. I did 2/3 cup of powdered sweetener because I like mine a little bit sweeter, but you do not have to. I used the Swerve brand, but you can use any brand of powdered sweetener that you wish to use, and unsalted butter, because you're going to end up adding some sea salt in here. If you do have salted butter and not unsalted, just cut back on the sea salt a little bit. And so we're going to go ahead and cream this together. So now you're going to, after you get this to a creamy mixture, you're going to add 1 large egg. And then you're going to add a 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, not the pumpkin pie filling, the pumpkin puree. And then you're going to add in just 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then you're going to add your vanilla, which is just 1 teaspoon. And then you're just going to beat this until it's creamy. So once that's all beaten, you're going to go ahead and add your 3 cups of almond flour, which I already have in my large mixing bowl. And then I'm just going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. I just use any brand. Okay, so I'm just going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. After you add your 1/2 teaspoon of your baking powder, then you're going to go ahead and add, now you can add separately nutmeg and your cinnamon, but I'm using 1 tablespoon. You can use 1 to 2 tablespoons. It's how spicy you want it, or how pumpkin spicy you want it, of just the pumpkin pie spiced blend. I just make it easier because I want that more pumpkin-y flavor. I'm just going to take my spoonula or my rubber spatula and kind of just mix them up. And it smells amazing. Now, while you're doing all this, you want to make sure your oven is preheating at 350 degrees. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is go ahead and add in your sea salt. And you just want to add a 1/4 teaspoon of your sea salt. Now, I don't have a unsalted butter, so I'm going to go ahead and just add just a little less than that. Let me get the lid off. And then you're just going to give that another little stir for your dry ingredients. And you should see it look something like this. So then finally what you want to do is go ahead and mix in your pumpkin puree that you mixed your butter and your sweetener in. Now when you're using sweetener, make sure you use powdered. You do not want to use granular. And then I'm just going to blend the almond flour into the pumpkin puree, because if I don't and you use a mixer, then it's just going to make a really bad mess. And you just want to make sure it's to a dough consistency and that it's creamy. Now at this point, because most of the moisture is getting into your almond flour and it's absorbing, you can take your mixer and just mix it up so it's more creamier. Or you can just continue to whisk it together or use your spoonula. I love fall. I don't know about you guys, but I love pumpkin season. I know by the time Thanksgiving's over with or Christmas is over with, I kind of get all pumpkin spiced out, but I only do this once a year. And it smells really, really amazing. So I'm not really going to use my mixer because I think it's getting really creamy and mixed really well. And you want the dough to look like this. So the next thing you want to do once everything is well mixed, your dough's going to look something like this. And you just want to take a medium cookie scoop and just scoop it out about 2 inches apart so that they can bake evenly. And you want to make sure that you line your cookie sheet up with the parchment paper. Anytime you use like an almond flour based or making like keto, say low carb cookies, it's always a good idea to line your baking sheet up with the parchment paper. So after you line these up, then you're going to just lightly press down on the cookie to the consistency you want. You can either use your palm of your hand, the tip of your fingers, just get it so that it's the same thickness, the same size. And then you want to, or you can use the bottom of a glass. Just make sure they're 2 inches apart. And then they should look something like this as you're lining them up on your baking sheet. Now you do not have to spray your paper. So once you got them lined up on your baking sheet, you just want to set them in the oven at 350 degrees until about 15 to 20 minutes until they are golden. Then you take them out, you let them rest about 5 minutes on the cookie sheet before you want to transfer them to the cooking rack. Let them cool for another 15 minutes and then we will make the icing and I will show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. Now everybody's oven's different. My oven intends to take longer to cook, so when it says 15 to 20 minutes, mine usually will go 20 minutes, but I will probably check my cookies about 15 minutes after. You don't want to make the icing until the cookies have come out and started to cool, because when you make your icing and you put it on hot cookies, it's just going to melt right off. So I usually don't make my icing until they have sat and cool for about 5 minutes, and then when I make it, they cool a little bit longer before I transfer them to the cookie rack. And then you can ice your cookies after they sat for a few minutes and cooled off, because you want them completely cooled. And one tip I wanted to give you is if your dough is pretty sticky, go ahead and set it in the refrigerator for about 15, 20 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes, and then it would be easier to work with. Today it's a little bit of a cooler day, but I know during the summer, or if you are in a climate that's a really warmer climate. I live in Ohio, so we don't have that warm of a climate this time of year. They weren't that sticky, so I did not have to refrigerate mine. But if you find that your dough is really sticky and you're having a hard time, you can either oil your hand, just spray it, or just spray a glove or something and then work with it. If you still find that it's really sticky and it's not smushing down like you want the consistency to be, then you want to just go ahead and get your dough cooled off. I would scoop them out into the ball and maybe set them in the refrigerator. If it makes it easier for you, you can leave it in the bowl and just put some like plastic wrap over it, saran wrap, and then just stick it in there, and then use a medium scoop and then scoop it out. And you want to work quickly with it because, as you know, dough will get soft quickly. So that's just one tip I want to give you. If you are enjoying this quick, easy recipe, not only it's quick and easy, but most of the ingredients are in your pantry. So I always keep it quick, easy, and budget friendly. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ketolifestyle and Low Carb Cooking with Melissa. Hit that bell, because that bell will give you any new content that I post and upload. I do all kinds of baking. I do cookies, cakes, pies. I even do dinners, breakfasts. You will find all kinds of delicious, quick and easy, budget-friendly recipes on my channel. I'm just waiting for them to get ready to come out of the oven, and I will show you what they look like. Okay, so the cookies are done, and I'm getting ready to take them out of the oven. Let's see what they look like. And they smell amazing. This is what they look like when they come out of the oven. So they are very soft and chewy when you first take them out of the oven, but as they sit and cool, they will firm up. Okay, so while those are cooling, I'm going to go ahead and make my icing to go on my pumpkin cookies. So you just want to use a 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. I use Swerve brand. Make sure it is powdered. Then you just want to dump a 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then you're just going to whisk it together or stir it together to get a nice icing consistency. Smells good. Okay, so I whisked up my frosting. Now, if you find that your frosting's a little bit on the runnier side, I don't really like a really runny frosting unless I'm just gonna drizzle like a banana bread or a strawberry bread. So I like mine a little bit on the thick side where it's a frosting consistency. So what I did was I added 2 tablespoons of softened cream cheese because I did not have any set out, and I'm still whisking it. I microwaved it for about 30 seconds, and then I mixed it into the heavy cream and the vanilla and the powdered sugar, and I get a more frosting type consistency. So this is the consistency I'm looking for. I wanted it to be a little bit on the thicker side so it's spreadable on the cookies and not running. So if you do like your glaze just to be a glaze, such as a glazed donut, and you're just icing your cookies, that's fine too. I like mine to just actually sit on my cookie like a frosting. So I added the cream cheese to have that cream cheese frosting. But if you do not like cream cheese and you're not wanting cream cheese frosting and you just want a glaze, like a cinnamon roll glaze, that's fine too. I just find it better when you thicken it up a little bit. So I'm getting ready to frost my cookies. Now these are what the cookies are supposed to look like when they come out, and then they firm up once they have cooled. And I'm getting ready to frost them because they have cooled. Okay guys, and there you have it. Pumpkin pie spiced cookies. They look amazing. Now we have to try a bite and see what it tastes like. Amazing. Quick, easy. Most of the ingredients are in your pantry. Not only quick and easy, but budget friendly and delicious. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful, delicious recipe. They taste amazing. They're soft, they're chewy. You can store them in your pantry up to 5 to 7 days. You can freeze them up to 3 months. Just make sure they're in an airtight sealed container or a really strong Ziploc bag for about 3 months. These are amazing. They're delicious. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. And if you do enjoy this recipe, remember to subscribe to Ketolifestyle and Low Carb Cooking with Melissa. And hit that bell because you can see all the other wonderful recipes that I upload in the future. Have a great day and enjoy.